Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be checking in on our worm farm starter kit. Now, if you remember last week, we had fed these guys a healthy dose of some celery. There was, I think, maybe something else in there as well. I just can't remember. It might have just been celery. So, this bin has been closed all week. I've not looked in on them. I'm doing my best to ignore these guys as much as I can. AC's been off. It has been warm outside. Inside's not too bad because the door's been closed, but there is some condensation on this lid. We have got some good moisture on top of here. Let's just go ahead and peel this away. Bin looks good. Let's put this out of the way. There's some granulation on top. Little bit of green, but it's not mold really, I don't think. I really want to just check to see what's going on in this bin. We put a lot of carbon in here because we had put that rice, the previous feed, and they had made quite a good go of that. The moisture level was really good. The temperature was kind of warm, 81.5. It's creeping up to 81.78, and that's just on the top. I will just put on a pair of gloves. So as you guys know, the purpose of this bin really is for me to feed it food scraps. All my other bins get worm chow and nothing else. They get a little bit of, one time they got some pumpkin, they got some mushroom, but really this is the experimental bin. So every week I try to feed it something different. This week, I'm going to give this, apart from a banana, which is normal, I'm going to try and give it a couple of things that I haven't used before. So, first things first, that feeding zone was here. I just want to see how they got on. Well, that cardboard is still here. Did they like this celery? Most of it's gone. A couple of pieces. A couple of pieces, but otherwise it's pretty much all gone. I'll insert a clip of the other video of how much had actually gone in here, and in comparison, I mean, it's gone. But that cardboard is just starting to break down. This shredded cardboard hadn't been wet, hadn't been moistened. It was just dry as is, and I purposefully put this much cardboard in here to try and take some of that moisture that would have dropped out of this the celery. So not bad. I'm surprised. I was wondering whether they had got to it or not, because it is, even though it's mostly water, it can be quite bitter, and celery can be quite fibrous. So I didn't know whether it was going to be a fast or a slow food. But that's interesting. And that cardboard down there, which I put in the middle, is still intact. So that's good. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to just give these guys a quick fluff. Let's move this out of the way as well. I was putting peanut shells in my bedding previously, and I've realised that even though now these guys are getting brittle, these guys, you know, the peanut shells are going to be in here forever. The moisture level in this bin is fantastic. The worms, they've started to reproduce now. Oh, what's that? That's weird. Oh. It looks like a baby worm, but he's got a clitellum. I've never seen that before. Or he's digesting something. If you guys have ever seen something like that, please let me know. For a baby worm to have that trait. Interesting. Straighten this bit out. There you go. Yeah, the moisture level is quite high. There's another piece of that celery. I'll move this out of the way because I will use this again. So these guys have been in here for about, I think, 5 weeks now. The juveniles are more visible. So you can see that they're breeding. But they're having a good go through this bin. They seem healthy. Nice big long worms. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit that like button and subscribe. I know I usually ask you at the end of the video, but I'm going to start shamelessly plugging. Great. That cardboard is nice and mixed now in this bedding as well. They're producing some great castings. What is that? That might be remnants of the rice, if anything. Still breaking down. There's no smell to the bin, but the moisture level is really, really, really good. It's perfect. So today's feeding, let's just make this another feeding zone here. Today's feeding is going to be an interesting one. Today, I thought that I would give them something a little bit different. Now, you might have, if this is not your first time watching my video, or one of my videos, you would know that I have a couple of businesses, one of which is a coffee business, but I also have a food production business where we produce plant-based meats, our own recipes and so on. So one of the ingredients that we use in that is something called a textured vegetable protein. So I have a couple of different variations of that to create different structures of to recreate things like chicken or steak or beef or even ribs. But today I'm going to be using some textured vegetable protein. The first thing I want to do before I put the TVP down is just open this banana for them, because this will go first. And the other thing I'm going to give them some dates. Being in Dubai, it'll be remiss of me not to. So these are just half a dozen dates. And this is the TVP. And I've hydrated a little bit. So if you've ever had a plant-based burger, usually it's made out of this stuff, and then it's, you know, you add your seasonings to be able to make it taste like meat, and some colouring, which is usually beetroot powder. But to be fair, the flavour of the meat usually comes from yeast, like a yeast extract. If you've ever had Marmite or Vegemite, that is the building blocks for a natural. I'm not talking about these guys who have artificial flavorings. We make ours with natural ingredients. So we use a blackstrap molasses to give it the irony taste that you find usually in meat from, and a yeast extract, which is also what they, believe it or not, what they feed cattle. So yeah, we make a liquid, dehydrate it, make it into powder form, and then it's used in our mixture. So there you go. So this is the This is the textured vegetable protein. It's going to be interesting to see how they take to this. I'm not giving them a heavy feed this week. They usually take a little bit of time to go through the banana. The dates are really rich in minerals and like calcium, so that's going to be interesting. And then obviously the TVP, really high in protein, and some carbohydrates, a little bit of fiber. We'll just give this a nice little cover up, and that is it. Nothing major to... oh jeez, I'm such an idiot. See, it's that old saying, out of sight, out of mind. I forgot this really lovely, tempting celery to put back on. There we go. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. And that is it. As always, that is a stem from a banana from a previous week. Now I'm just checking inside because that's interesting, all these little fibers. I've seen people open these up and usually find some worms digging around in them, which is kind of cool. And that's it. Once again, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, ring the notification bell, show you boys some love, you know what to do. And we are going to let these guys just chill for another week before we come back. Big love as always, be good, and I'll see you guys soon.